YouTube different. YouTube is crazy different. I ain't gonna lie. I don't do enough work on YouTube. I was kind of hoping that YouTube just pandered to me. It ain't work out that way. It is what it is. But you know what? We're here now. It is what it is. Listen, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do with one viewer, with two viewers, with 100 viewers, with 1,000 viewers. It is what it is. Yo, D, what's good, fam? Yo, holla at us, bro. Holla at us, for real, for real. Yo, this whole thing is based on people having authentic views on fragrance as a whole. Like, look, there's good fragrances, there's mid fragrances, there's bad fragrances. Some people will get behind just whatever everybody else says. You have to like what you like. You have to know what you like and stand behind that particular thing. You have to. If you don't know what you like, that's gonna be a problem. And if you're easily influenced by other people, and you hear this term, influencers, right? How strong can I influence you to like something you don't like, right? So knowing what you like is really interesting. And again, YouTube is a platform. And shout out to Rafa. YouTube is another line. It's a different animal altogether, right? Platform TikTok, for example, you can turn on the TikTok live and get action almost immediately. YouTube is based on, do the people watch the content, do they enjoy your content, do they want to see you in the live? It's very different. TikTok audiences are more looking for the live interaction more than the content them liking it. So it's different how it operates. Yo, Punch, I know you got your stuff. Yo, I actually stopped going live for a minute because I was like, I'm not going live again until everybody gets what I owe them. You got your stuff, and I'm back on the live. You see how that worked? Or it got sent out. It got sent out. The way I had to do. Scent of the night. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing a live on TikTok earlier, and my scent of the night is a conglomerate of just about every and anything. But I will say, Giuseppe Parfum is releasing a new fragrance later on today. Depending on where in the world you are, they're gonna release Summer Yummer. That is this right here. That is a fruity berry summertime. You know what? Nobody's gonna agree with me, but I get a little bit of booze in there. Maybe that's just I don't know, la sangre llama, but maybe that's just me wanting a booze in there. It is what it is. Either way, Giuseppe is dropping that release today. Now, what is dope about this specific limited release is that Summer Yummer is not here forever. It's only here for the summer. Once these bottles that have been pre-made for production are out, they are out for good. But when you purchase one of these, you will get the opportunity to purchase one of these right here, and that's going to be Candy Shop or Fizzy Sorbet. Now, if you look at these bottles right here and you see which one been used the most, you can tell that Fizzy Sorbet has been killing it on this side. If you had to pick one, I want to be more helpful. I don't know. I think I would go Candy Shop. Now, I will tell you right there, this is representation of me and Nika, right? So, Nika's going to do all of this by herself. I'm kind of over here, but I spray less than her, so I think Candy Shop is still a good option. Either way, you can't go wrong. I'm going to go Candy Shop. She's going to go hard body Fizzy Sorbet, and I do like it. But I'm going to go Candy Shop. If you pick that Candy Shop, I'm almost positive you will not be disappointed. Now, outside of Giuseppe news, yes, Nazar Fragrance does have a sale going on right now. That is what we're going to call the Nazar Fragrance Bake Sale. What is the bake sale? What do you get at a bake sale? Cakes, pies, right? So, what does Nazar have? Oud cake, pie, and cognac. So the sale is this. If you cop these two gourmand cake pie edible smelling fragrance right here, pie and cognac, old cake, put this in your shopping cart, go in there and throw that discount code in, Rico 30. You will get 30% off the purchase of these together. Now, if you don't want these two, if you want some other combination, if you want one fragrance and not two, you can get whatever fragrance you do want on the website for the same price that it's listed at, but you can use Rico 15. So now you get 15% off. But if you get these two together, you will get 30% off. So if you're gonna get two, these are probably the two you want because you're gonna get a way bigger discount. And it's arguably the two best fragrances in the house. Or at least my two favorite. It is what it is. Shout out to all the good folks out there. D Punch, Rafa was good. Yo, I've been jumping through lives. I've been jumping through different lives. I've been trying to get back. Sometimes I don't want to shit with y'all, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't want it, but I'm on it today. I'm on it today. Dropping some new information, dropping some new sale. Yo, and by the way, that 30% off with Nazar, with their Rico 30. As long as you get those two gourmand ones, right? Why get me involved? Because you're gonna do gourmand sale. You're gonna get the gourmand dude involved, right? So, oud cake, pine cognac, those two together, 30% off with Rico 30. It's a good deal. It's probably the two best fragrances you get from the whole house. So I absolutely suggest you check those out. What are y'all wearing today? Well, I get the questions from this side. What are y'all wearing? What is your scent of the day? Not so famous. Yo, what's good, my brother? Yo, I'm getting acclimated to this whole YouTube live thing. It's a different environment. It's definitely a different environment. The TikToks, the IGs, the YouTubes, the environments are different. Getting familiarized and acclimated to how everything moves over here, but I'm digging it. I got a good grip of decants. I got a good grip of decants. Incidentally, I have a system in where I do giveaways, but I don't do the going to the post office. Nika does. And I usually just go to all the decant boxes and fill in the bag and send it. Nika did a hand pumped decants this time. So anybody who won that last one, Punch, good for you. Send it Blue Talisman. I want to get the X-ray. Yo, that Blue Talisman is a beast. We were talking about that earlier over on TikTok. No, I put it right here. Yeah, it's right in the front. It's still in the front. I believe the new version of it will be dropping September. Incidentally, Glamcation will be going on in September. Torrance, California, right outside of LA. We go to all the events. One of the joints we will be doing this year is going to Ex Nihilo. Right around the same time they're releasing the Blue Talisman X-Ray. So, will it be the exact same week? It probably will be. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know, but I know this. That at Glamcation, we're going to have One Way Bridge. We're going to have Tomovici. We're going to have Elysian. We're going to have The Clean Team. We're going to have Nazar Fragrance. We're going to have Hez Parfum. We're going to have The Mask House. Look. It's some houses is gonna be in the house, period. Myself, Nika, Marcy Mello, Sarah, Tammy, Yellow Sense, and I'm just going off the top of the head. Like it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be drinks. It's gonna be food. It's gonna be fragrance. If you need anything else, I don't know what else to tell you, but that's a vibe for me. If y'all in the house. Hope to see y'all. We'll kick it. We'll chat it up. We'll do some content. I'm down with all the, filthy month. Yo, I want to get into Born to Stand Out so bad. I already know which one I want to get. The Drunken Saffron or Saffron. Yeah, I think it's called Drunken Saffron. The Black Guava, the Black Mango. Those three. 1, 2, 3 in that same order. That's what it's gonna be. But they have been killing it. Shout out to Born to Stand Out, because that's a house that, look, as much as you want to ignore them, or you know, for all the uppity folks are like, they too new, nah, they here. They here, they put in pressure. Born to Stand Out is putting wild pressure on all these antiquated brands established on my grandfather was a... Nah, you're going to have to put in work for yourself, buddy. I don't care what your grandfather did. What are you doing? Born to Stand Out is doing their own thing. I don't know about nobody's grandfather, great-grandfather. Born to Stand Out is doing their thing. And if you're not with that, fine. But they are killing it. And they were at Milan, the what do they call that joint? I was just there. That's crazy. Essence. Bro, I still need to get you guys in the line. Yo, yes, let's get it. I remember we talked about that too, and that was right before I think it was right before Milan. And the schedule. But we're chill. September is the next big thing on the calendar, as far as I know. So with that said, yes, we'll talk backstage and get that popping. Plus, it actually works, I think, because way bigger news to put out when that goes into effect. So let's get that going. Yeah, Born to Stand Out is a beast, man. So I did get to try them for the first time at Essence, and I was really impressed. Just everything, just like that's the next house to get in. Like I remember when I fell in love with the Carolina Herrera collection, and I was like, I think I want all of them. I think Born to Stand Out is in that Carolina Herrera, Giuseppe, Primera, and now Born to Stand Out. They just have that they make fragrances that they think people are gonna enjoy. And that's not always the case. Sometimes perfumers want to be artists. And I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. I want to create, and if the thing I create makes you happy, good. And if not, I created what I want. I get that. The creator part of me gets that. However, Born to Stand Out seems to make dope stuff. Like that's I don't know how much simple they just make dope ideas. They make it and it smells good. And I enjoy it. Filthy Moths, Dirty Laundry. Yeah. Be My Cookie. Yeah, I gotta get into it, man. Matter of fact, I don't want don't tell me when hold up, we got a message that might be held for review. Let's see what it says. The Pride one is I want everybody to know, like, hopefully this doesn't go left. I'm gonna show it because it's a state. I think that YouTube thought that was supposed to be like a negative statement. It's not. It's what it is. The Pride one is who effing cares, which that's kind of their motto. That's kind of their motto, and that really is their motto, and I like it because they're like, yo, who does. I think if the FragCom could take that like with more than just a grain of salt, like who cares? I like it. Look, I like it. Someone says Rico has a basic okay, but I like it. So who cares? Like I like what I like. Who cares? The fragrance industry is full of a lot of different styles and fragrance note. Like there's too much. You can love oud and love a citrus, and to be fair, I'm kind of realizing that now more. You know, falling in love with these 1907s, falling in love with French Poem Silver, and this any variety of Torino 24. Like who would have thought? But you can like two different spectrums and everything in between. You might love one thing more than the other, but across the board, you can like what you like. Exactly. Yeah. That's my. Yo, if you like it and you buy it, enjoy it. Like, listen, I know for a fact I can look in front of me right now and see fragrances that if I hold it in front of you, the crowd will go crazy. That's a good one because you heard it's good, and then not enjoy another one because you may have heard. But if you haven't put your nose on it, don't have an opinion. Don't try it for yourself because influencers will put that thought in your head and make you feel like you have to feel a certain type of way, and you don't. You can yo, I like stuff that people don't like. I don't care. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, you know, and that's a good point. Like, I don't know how much of a community is anymore. Um, there's always gonna be small pockets of people who will jump on these platforms and say like, "Hey, let's be free thinkers. Let's have an open discussion about fragrance." But there's more. I think there's a bigger category of people who are like, let's make let's just make content. Let's make content. Let's get fans, and let's them have them follow what I think, and eventually what I think becomes fact or something of that nature. We're just here to talk about what we like. If you like a fragrance and I don't like it, that's fair. And if I like it and you don't like it, it better be fair to you or you'll be muted. But not even that, but just in general, like we have different styles of enjoying things, and not just us, the perfumers. Some perfumers are they have this like this system of creating fragrances that it's very unique to their own personality and style, and the end result is very unique and enjoyable, but each one has different styles. So how they get there is their process. To not enjoy all of it is doing a disservice. And I guess that's more speaking to the collectors and people who are really, really passionate. Sometimes you just want to smell good. And I'm not against that at all. If you just if your focus is when I leave the house, I want to smell good, I respect that. Cause I like people who think that way. But sometimes you look past the am I gonna get a compliment? And it's not just about that. It's about smelling something when you pick it up and you smell it like, wow, this. What were they thinking when they created this? How did they get to this place? With all the notes in the world, with all the repetitive notes, you know, you can pick up 20 bottles of fragrances and find similar notes throughout all of them, and somehow all of them are different. It's like, what was the perfumer thinking when they took this particular note that in 12 other bottles it smells like this one thing, and somehow they use this to go this route? Like I'm interested, and I don't think everybody is interested in that. I get that. I think most people are not. Some people just do want compliments, but when you love the artistry of fragrance and the development of notes, and you know, following specific perfumers and understanding the direction they go and seeing them expand their style, all of that's exciting to me. And that's what I intend to speak about when you see me on a live, when you see me do my reviews, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I think I've been on all three platforms today because I had free time. But the intent is just to, I don't know, like I would enjoy to push a narrative of like what you like. Don't get caught up in the hype. Um, just because I say it's good doesn't mean it's good. I mean it's good to me. It's good to the style of fragrance that I enjoy. But if you know me, I like gourmands. I like ouds. I like darker, heavier stuff. So if you hear me say that a fragrance is not that good, or at least to my opinion, you can probably assume it's probably aquatic, fresher. And even then, my style has started to change more recently. I've been picking up more. Again, 1907 can only work for me right now because I'm into this now. Where's my? I don't know. I think Nico moved my. I usually have it right here in the front. My Torino 24. Yeah, she definitely moved it. Um, my Torino. It's. There's more bottles than I can count in front of me. But again, Torino 24, which is gonna be. It's a. You can call it a citrus. I don't think it's a citrus. It's a fruity. It's a fruity that has some, but the Torinos generally have not been the ones that really do what it's supposed to do for me. with other people. And then to me, I was like, oh, when I got that Torino, I was like, that's a different take on an entire, collection. The collection itself gives off a certain vibe. None of them are identical to the other, but 24 was one. And 24 made me want to go back and revisit the rest of the collection and be like, oh, okay. I was at a point. So a lot of people start with the fresh, light, airy things early and build their way up to darker stuff. I think in the back of my head, maybe I'm so counterculture that I wanted to start with the darker stuff first. So I did fall in love with the patchoulis, with the ouds, with the dark, woody, boozy, gourmand, all that heavier stuff, the more dense fragrances, and work myself to the lighter things. And then as I do that, I'm really enjoying these tart, fruity, juicy fragrances a lot more. Let me see here. Grapefruit, yeah, absolutely. Yes, 24 is gonna be my favorite. Probably forever. 23, sheet for okay, that makes sense. 21 is a vibe that tea. Now I do love tea. I do love tea, especially now more than ever. And 21 is a really good one. And that's kind of across the board. I think a consensus is that 21 is a really good one. I had to get into it more. 24 is still going to be number one for me. Yo, if y'all not checking out Rafa and you see him right in the comments, if you need to know anything when it comes to the world of Xerjoff as a whole, and if you're a fan of Xerjoff, you know that the house has multiple collections, and they've kind of brought everything into this really happy medium now, where presentation is kind of uniform with individuality, but those changes happen from what was previously separate collections, which is super dope. So you have the what used to be the Suspiro line, right? And now all of and this is one of the ones that survived in Purple Accento. Listen, this right here is the when I smell stuff like this, I think of my boy Unaverage Joe. Like this is people who want to smell good, and they want you to know they smell good, and you kind of want to be told you smell good. Like Purple Accento it's loud, but it's loud in all the best ways. It's attention grabbing in all the best ways possible. But fragrances like this, now me personally, based on my own taste, I will always turn to things like Symphonium, where you have that lactonic, smooth, chocolatey oud, citrus on top, blended so well. But my point is that you can get all these different facets of fragrance within one house. Just let a perfumer stretch their arms and legs out and get busy, and you find a lot of great things. I got that Purple Accento 2 months ago. Yeah, I love the Purple Accento. The new presentation is not... It's not the with the crystals, right? So this is the new presentation. This is the new presentation. But listen, and I'm not gonna lie. I am a presentation person. So when you're used to a very elaborate presentation and you get brought down some, you're like, yo, I like. But fragrance wise, fuego. The presentation. Yep. Orange chocolate. Yeah. Hey, look. I could have walked away, came back half an hour later, and saw orange chocolate and knew Symphonium. Yo, it's beautiful. And to me, it was a big deal because it was one of those exclusive fragrances at one point until it became regularly available. So when I first smelled it and it was not really accessible to me, I was upset. I was like, yo, this is so good. For it to not be everywhere is crazy. And now that it is, Good for everybody else. I will say that. Good for, because Symphonium is slept on. Symphonium does not get the love that people should give it. Maybe because when it first came out, when it was hyped up, it was so long ago, and when it became available to everybody, people forgot. Don't sleep on Symphonium. I'm telling. If you love anything, even slightly gourmand leaning, chocolatey, perfectly blended oud, creamy, yo, it's all the best things of all of those things. I'm telling you, you need to check out Symphonium. Symphonium was initially exclusive to Fortnum and Manson. On Mason, many people wanted to acquire it. I was one of those people, but when it was released worldwide, the hype, and that's interesting. The hype. Listen, I remember watching. I, I, I don't know what disconnect with people or how we operate different at certain points, but I remember when Symphonium was not easy to acquire, and I wanted it, right? And then it was we were able to acquire it across the board, and I copped it. As soon as I had the opportunity to, I got it. But that's a good point. Like the and there is that aspect of that forbidden fruit syndrome, right? Where I only want it because I can't have it. I read notes. I know the notes that I love. So when I see the notes that I love in a fragrance, I don't care what everybody else is talking about. Again, Aventus. People love Aventus. I don't think Aventus is a bad fragrance. I will start by that. I never got the real hype of it though. Is what I'm saying. I didn't follow a crowd into the deep waters of Aventus. Like it's a beautiful fragrance. It is. I didn't go hype into it. Like I accepted it as a very well constructed, stand to the time. Absolutely, it's one of the fragrances people will love for a long time. Um, I didn't go crazy for it, and I didn't allow myself to go crazy just because the person to my left or my right were going crazy. I smelled it. I had my personal opinion. I walked away, and I never allowed the loud noise around me dictate how I felt about it because that's somebody else's experience. I know what my experience was, and it wasn't that, and it's good. And I love the brand, Miller Salmon Perriel, one that I absolutely love, and they're Royal Oud, Silver Mountain Water. Like there is one. I just never thought that I it was required of me to agree with other people just because that wasn't my reality. Um, Decas, yo, you know what? I picked up Decas, and now I will say this: at a time where I smell like 15 other different Xerjoffs, I need to dig back into that one. There's some Mandarin Accord because they're both made of. Okay. Orange block. Yeah, now, yep. Well, now let me ask you this. Not so famous, right? You put Decas is nice orange blossom tobacco. In terms of how, oh, I shouldn't have said that word. That's TikTok. TikTok does that. In terms of tobacco operation, right, in a fragrance, and we're talking about Xerjoff, right? And I think any fan of Xerjoff, if you say tobacco, you already know we're talking about Naxos. How do you feel in terms of a tobacco-centric fragrance if you put Decas and Naxos side by side? Which way? Because I personally, without trying both, I was gonna say not. I like Deca. Oh, you like Decas over Naxos? That's interesting to hear. That's interesting to hear. Yo, what's the name of it? Pico Vaya Dama, right? And that one I remember from years ago, where it was one of the most expensive Xerjoff fragrances at the time. Um, and I smelled it, and I was like, this has a very um, it has that old money like the people who have those matching dogs in front of the fireplace, like That one has this very antiquated, luxurious scent to it, and I think it represents an era. I'm not part of that era, so I did not get into it the way I would, for example, a Naxos, a even the new collabs with yo. And if you have not tried the new yo Zerjoff collab with Duran Duran, and I don't Neo Rio, yes. Is it going to be more of a fan favorite? Probably. Yeah, I would say almost definitely it's going to be one of the more fan favorite fragrances. But as a whole, when Zerjoff does these collabs, sometimes the brands do a collab because it makes sense monetarily, right? Like if an actor drops a movie right now, and then we say the movie's hot, let's make a fragrance about this actor. Yeah, people probably buy it. But when you think about like me, for example, when was the last time you heard a Duran Duran fragrance playing as a hot top 10? Zerjoff doesn't necessarily go for what you think is the hottest, but what's the best thing to do right now. And I'm not gonna lie, Duran Duran is not what I would call my era of music. But when I smelled both, I was like, yo, you can't you can't go wrong with either one. Now, obviously, preferences. If you like heavy, darker, more mysterious fragrances, maybe the Neo Real is not exactly for you. But it is gonna be the crowd pleaser. It and that there's yes, you got the lime green bottle, the hot pink bottle, and I think the yellow bottle. There might be another one. The hot pink. I know that's the one I want to have. I want to have that hot pink bottle up there, next to that the black bottle. But the Tony Iommi's, you know, just they get it in. I think we get the point. They get it in. They get it in, and I'm really excited to see where these collabs with musicians, recording artists go. For those who don't know, um, the perfumer at Zerjoff, Sergio Momo, he 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 plays as well. He's into music, so he's not just trying to like shoehorn himself into the music industry. And from my perception, and I don't know because I'm looking for the outside, but it looks like he's doing business with musicians that actually have a respect for his ability. Like he's not just walking up to them and saying, "Oh, you do music." Like he has a background. I think there is a general understanding that you're the musician, I'm the perfumer, vice, but we can meet in the middle. Rafa says Black Moonlight is his favorite. Listen, I did a live with Nika. Oh, and Rafa, we all did that. Um, and I know that Rafa told me before. I think you're gonna like Black Moonlight the most, and then Nika's gonna like the Rio Neo, right? Neo Rio. Um, it was a tough life for me going back and forth smelling it because here's my biggest takeaway. If you do both, if you spray both, you don't have to choose. You smell crazy. It lasts for hours. It amplifies in a club full of people. The two Duran Durans blended at a good ratio. And you can define your own ratio. Are fire, absolute fire together. But there definitely is something about that very gourmand leaning aspects that you get, and I think is you're gonna attribute it mostly, excuse me, to that maple, as like a maple syrupy feel to it. Now it's not. I had read up on people's opinions early, And I think when people read maple, they go create um, posts based on what they think that's supposed to represent, as if they reviewed it already when they haven't. And I got the impression of it to be overly pancakey. That's not. I can tell you, like, that's not the case at all. If you read that, that's not an accurate assumption. Like it's bad. It's so far from the reality. Like, yes, there is maple syrup in there, and you get those notes, but it's so blended. It's so well blended with the overall composition that you get touches of that. That's not it. It's not limited to just syrup and pan. Like, that's the craziest thing. So when you see that, just know that's not accurate. Somebody read something somebody said. Um, it's but that sweetness I do gravitate to. So it's really like I would suggest get sample both. Black Moonlight is beautiful. It does lean more towards a lot of my other fragrance tendencies, but I do like the agreeability of the Neo Rio. Like, it's it's gonna be more for the people. I'll say that. The Black Moonlight, I think, is more for the collectors, for more who have those nuanced type of taste and fragrance where you're far beyond will somebody else like it and more into looking at the scent profile and seeing how it develops on skin and constantly being impressed as it develops on skin. And those are two different type of fragrance enthusiasts. However, they both exist. You don't have to love the artistry. Like, I don't need somebody to agree with me when I say I like a fragrance that opens one way and dries out another. Maybe you just like what you like. Maybe I put too much emphasis on something as simple as, what kind of cap do they use, versus somebody might have like a more simple bottle. Like, are we looking at bottles? Are we looking at scent? Like, there's a lot of different things to look at. So, you know, what do you like? Be real with yourself. I'm real with myself. Be real with yourself. Do you like these certain things? Because you might like brands that are more affordable based on what you like. You may also fall into those special group of people who are cursed to enjoy the more expensive fragrances, and that's your lot in life. I don't know. Simon, the lead singer, loves Black Moonlight, while Nick's favorite is Neo. And that's the thing, like, it's hard to say one is better than the other. It's based on taste. It's based on taste. And while I do mention a lot these days that for some reason recently I've been more open to citrus, fruity, lighter fragrances, we all go through our own individual fragrance journey. Some of us are gonna like darker stuff. Some of us will like, enjoy lighter stuff. Now I'll tell you this: the Duran Duran collection is dope because it has options. Where if you fell in love with the aesthetic of the Tony Iommi's, hopefully you were into a darker palette, right? Now the second one does get a really nice patchouli that goes in a different direction, and the first one has that more fruity aspect. But both of them are dark in their own way, is what I'm saying. So if you're not open to those darker fragrances, you're gonna find yourself in a rough spot. Even if you try to pull from those the fruitier aspects or what, you're still caught in a dark fragrance. With the Duran Duran, you kind of get a light and a darker version. Although the Neo Rio is not necessarily a light fragrance or airy, but it's sweeter, it's more playful. Both of them are enjoyable, and I kid you not, if you just equally like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, it's fire and it lasts until whenever. Like, as long as you can smell yourself, you're gonna smell that stuff. Those two together are and I don't know that Sergio Momo created them with the intent of blending, because I think they were based on different concepts as individual fragrances, but together they kind of work really, really well. I'm digging it anyway. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, listen. Speaking of my check, it's about bed check time for me. I'm gonna get in trouble. I don't go to bed soon. And some of y'all know what that life is like. So I'm gonna play my part and park this early. Hey, thank you to everybody who checked me out tonight. I don't typically do YouTube lives independently. I usually do that as a group thing. But we just trying different little things out, see how it work out. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you to everybody who showed out jumped in through some comments, give people more concepts to go off of. Why? Because like I always say, I do not jump in here to be an authority of anything. I'm just here to open up a conversation. The people who know better will jump in eventually and throw in their concept, and we can have a conversation as a group. Thank you everybody. Thank you Rafa. Thank you everybody realistically who jumped in. We're gonna try to do more of these again. YouTube, Instagram, bouncing around, doing my rounds, but sharing my thoughts, and hopefully genuine thoughts will make people feel more comfortable with being real. Like, I don't have to say I love this because 15 other people said it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And that's okay. That's fair. No matter how much I love a fragrance, if you don't love it too with me, that's okay because I get you different. And if I hate it and you love it, that's also okay because we're different. That's what it is. Hey, listen, thank you everybody for joining me, entertaining me, my blah blah of fragrance. But yo, we love fragrance here. That's what we do. So hopefully you love it too. When we get back to this, we'll share more thoughts. It's fragged out, swagged out. We out.